System call for file management. In this PPT, we are going to learn about system calls, what are system calls and how do they work. Then we will see types of system calls and see some file management system calls. What are system calls? A system call is the programmatic way in which a computer program requests a service from the kernel of the operating system it is executed on. A system call is a way for programs to interact with the operating system. System calls are the only entry points into the kernel system. All programs needing resources must use system calls. These calls are generally available as assembly language instruction. System calls acts as an interface between user and the operating system. But how do they work? A computer program makes a system call when it makes a request to the operating system's kernel. System call provides the service of the operating system to the user programs via Application Program Interface (API). It provides an interface between a process and operating system to allow user-level processes to request services of the operating system. Types of system calls. Process control system calls. These system calls deal with processes such as process creation, process termination, etc. File management. These system calls are responsible for the file manipulation such as creating a file, reading a file, writing into a file, etc. Device management. These system calls are responsible for device manipulation such as reading from the device buffers, writing into the device buffers, etc. Information maintenance. These system calls handle information and its transfer between the operating system and the user program. Communication system calls. These system calls are useful for inter-processes communication. They also deal with creating and deleting a communication connection. Examples of some system calls of different types is given in this table. Let's see some of the system calls for file management. Open. The open system call is used to provide access to a file in a file system. This system call allocates resources to the file and provides a handle that the process uses to refer to the file. A file can be opened by multiple processes at the same time or be restricted to one process. It all depends on the file organization and file system. Read. The read system call is used to access data from a file that is stored in the file system. The file to read can be identified by its file descriptor and it should be opened using open before it can be read. In general, the read system call takes the three arguments, that is the file descriptor, buffer which stores read data and number of bytes to be read from the file. Write. The write system call writes the data from a user buffer into a device, such as file. This system call is one of the ways to output data from a program. In general, the write system call take three arguments, that is file descriptor, pointer to the buffer where data is stored, and number of bytes to write from the buffer. Close. The close file system is used to terminate access to a file system. Using this system call means that the file is no longer required by the program and so the buffers are flushed. The file metadata is updated and the file resources are deallocated. Thank you.